Welcome to Weekly Digest, where we highlight the works of ministers of government as they push the administration's development agenda. Minister of Public Works Bishop Juan Edgell on Saturday last inspected ongoing sea defense works at Essex Concord, Mahaika, and along the shoreline to Fairfield. Minister Edgell stressed the need for immediate interventions at Essex as the rising tides pose a danger to the mangroves in the area.
With the movement of mud, climate change, weather patterns, and everything else, we are losing significant amount of mangroves in this section. Once the mangroves are removed, the dam that we are standing on becomes compromised. And once this dam is breached, the water is all the way in, whether farmlands, poultry farmers, or households.
He noted that sea defense is an expensive venture, but slowly but surely, the government through the Ministry of Public Works is committed to facilitating interventions.
Based upon the understanding I have, we've already done 6 kilometers from Danzig-Maikoni coming all the way back.
Minister Edgell also on Saturday last met with residents of Dazzle Housing Scheme on the east coast of Demerara. The minister attended the community meeting in response to a request made by a resident and representative from the Committee of Management where he addressed their concerns.
It's our interest as a government to please all the people. Correct. Any government worth its salt will want to ensure that people's requests are met because that is the job of a government. Yes, sir. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, so you're pushing at an open door.
The minister encouraged the residents to come together as a community under the One Guyana philosophy, which helps with the responsibilities for the upliftment of every community.
You know why we tell people to organize themselves in CDCs? It's to get rid of the politics and let the community come together for the One Guyana that we're talking about. Because when you have a CDC, it's the people from the community that are governing the affairs of the community, making representation for the community, bringing the people together, whether you're red, you're yellow, or you're green, whether you're Christian, Hindu, or Muslim, whether you're young or old. And the faster we understand that there are things that government could do by itself, but there are things that government needs the support of people to do, you will see development in your community faster.
The South Dakota Circuit, Tamari, is now ready to accommodate international motorsporting events, following massive interventions by the government in collaboration with the Guyana Motor Racing Sports Club, GMRSC. Minister within the Ministry of Public Works, Gov't Indar, on Tuesday, visited the upgraded circuit and noted the rapid transformation of the facility.
Remember, we're a government when we promise stuff, we deliver. The president, when he was candidate Ali at Stewartville, said that if you march with us, we will develop this track. Today we are standing on that development. It was 0.7 miles in length in total, now it's 1.6 miles in length. And I want to say this, that our government, we worked with the GMRSC, all of the members.
The track is now ready for its first international event, and executives of the GMRSC are pleased with the developments. Farmers in Region 10 have been assured by the Minister of Agriculture, Zulfikar Mustafa, that the government is committed to improving farming conditions that will benefit them.
You know for a fact that the Ministry of Agriculture, we have been going around the country and to try to ensure that our farmers' standard of living improve and their livelihood improve, because we know for a fact that many persons in our country today, they are doing agriculture for a living. And we in the Ministry of Agriculture will continue to work with you.
After listening to their concerns, the minister told the farmers that he will ensure that resources are distributed fairly.
Sometime when we send out resources, not all the farmers, as you are mentioning here, all the farmers are receiving it. So we'll have to devise a different mechanism. And I want to make it clear from the inception that when we send out resources, when we send out stuff, it's not for a group or a particular person, but the entire farming community. So everybody will receive, and if that is not the case, I will ensure that happens now.
Further, Minister Mustafa encouraged farmers to actively participate in ways that will remove politics from agriculture, as the government continues to make food security a priority for everyone.
All of us must work together because we cannot do this activity singularly. We have to do it collectively. And if we do it collectively, then the entire country will prosper. And as Minister of Agriculture, I also want to make it clear from the beginning that we should not allow politics to divide us in the agriculture.
Residents in Madia and neighboring communities of Region 8 will see improved housing and water as part of continued development within the region. This was disclosed by Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell on Sunday last. Minister Crowell and Minister of Agrarian Affairs Pauline Sukai led a community meeting to the township. Minister Crowell admitted to addressing housing issues as soon as possible, while procedures are being taken to regularize the Madia housing development.
It is our intention to address this housing area as we have been doing with all housing areas across the country. Once there are remaining lots, which I know there are, we will apply, we will do the necessary allocations and regularization using the Central Housing and Planning Authority procedure.
He said a team will return early next month to reevaluate the region behind the airstrip. A new well will be drilled within the housing area, which will provide 24/7 access to water. Moreover, for Region 8, some $50 million was expended on new wells in 2021, with another $220 million to be expended on new wells this year within the region.
Next year, we plan to drill at least 5 new wells in Region 8.
Residents of Tuckville's Big Yard who applied for house lots were on Tuesday given the option of selecting land or houses as part of the government's efforts to improve their living conditions. During a visit to the area, Minister Crowell reassured the locals that the government is still committed to improving the lives of all Guyanese.
Through our processes that we have, whether it's through the housing in terms of house lots or through our housing program, that we work with everybody here and that we are able to move them on to an environment that much more desirable than what you see here, and that their family too can have a comfortable environment.
Residents were told that the government is keen on its policy of providing housing solutions for all through housing construction, providing affordable housing options, and land allocation. Minister Crowell said that every effort would be made to meet each resident's specific needs and engage them accordingly. Residents of Charity and neighboring communities turned out in their numbers for a housing outreach on Wednesday at Garland Supermarket, Region 2. This was a follow-up to a visit by His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali to the squatting area on Tuesday, where he discussed the regularization and distribution of ownership documentation. Minister Crowell reiterated that the government is keen on providing a better life for all Guyanese. He noted that regularization of an area has its own challenges, which will include ownership and the infrastructural work within the area.
We're going to work in every community, we're working in every village. We are about building an entire country. Building a one Guyana means that it doesn't matter your political persuasion, doesn't matter your race, your creed. We will come to your communities and work with everyone.
The Comprehensive and Transformational Suicide Prevention Bill of 2022 was on Monday passed in the National Assembly. The historic legislation enacts the decriminalization of attempted suicide in Guyana and marks a major step in the government's move to address mental health across Guyana. Presenting the bill to the National Assembly, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony highlighted that the bill places importance on psychological support for survivors of suicide attempts, as well as those suffering from mental health issues that often go unnoticed.
This government, the PPPC, has decided that it is time that we have a dedicated multi-sectorial team that would work consistently to reduce deaths by suicide.
Minister of Human Services and Social Security Dr. Vindhya Prasad, in expressing support for the bill, underlined the importance of the decriminalization of suicide attempts.
This bill answers many issues, addresses many critical areas, and I believe it is pertinent at this point in time because in our country we are still challenged by persons who self-harm and who attempt suicide. Granted, the numbers are reducing, However, one life lost is one life too many. And if we are to ensure that people stopped attempting suicide, every effort must be made to look at every loophole, every gap in a support structure, so persons out there understand quite clearly that attempting suicide is not a crime, but we get it. It's an appeal for help.
The Regional Health Services Department, through the Ministry of Health, hosted a Regional Health Officers Conference to provide regional health officers across the region with the platform to highlight their challenges for solutions to be provided. The conference ran from the 8th to the 10th of November at Grand Coastal Hotel, East Coast, Demerara. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony, during the feature address, tasked the RHOs to formulate an integrated regional plan to figure out issues such as mortality and morbidity patterns in the regions, reducing waiting time and formulating reports to improve the services offered.
We have to move to a different level of planning. Not just this one-size-fits-all for every region, but we have to be more region-specific. We really need to think differently if we are going to achieve exponential results.
As part of the transformative and innovative direction of Guyana's economy, the Center of Local Business Development, in collaboration with ExxonMobil, hosted day one of the Guyana Supply Forum at the Lenora Track and Field Center on Tuesday. Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips said the forum is a hub for persons who are interested in becoming part of the oil and gas industry.
The Guyana Supplier Forum has been brought here today in Region 3 as a show of confidence in the capabilities of potential suppliers in this region. It is also a commitment to ensuring that Guyanese from various parts of our beautiful country can benefit from potential business and networking opportunities within the growing oil and gas sector.
55 community support officers, CSOs, from Region 9 on Wednesday graduated from the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs Capacity Building Program with skill sets in garment construction and small engine repairs. Minister of Amerindian Affairs Pauline Sukai, accompanied by Regional Chairman Brian Alicock, attended the graduation ceremony at the Bena Hill Institute Research Center in Anai, North Rupununi. Community support officers underwent an extensive 2-week training. They are now certified and can directly contribute meaningfully to their communities.
It is not for the want of just training you and sending you back. It is for you to impart knowledge and to increase your chances of earning.
This capacity training program is continuous and will see CSOs from Regions 1, 7, and 8 being trained in skills programs at the Bena Hill Institute Research Center. 41 women in Bartica Region 7 graduated from the Board of Industrial Training's Women's Economic Empowerment Program. Participants were trained in solar photovoltaic technology, installation, repair, and maintenance over the course of 3 weeks. Minister of Labour Joseph Hamilton emphasized the importance of creating opportunities for the advancement of women.
We cannot talk about nation building and we exclude from certain type of training more than half of the population. A woman can do it. All she needs is the exposure and the competence and the training. So you don't have nothing to fear. The opportunities are before you.
He also reiterated that the government, through the Ministry of Labour, remains dedicated to delivering training opportunities in all administrative regions.
Before 2020 rather, you didn't have a resident Board of Industrial Training technical officer. As I speak to you, every region in this country, we have either 1 or 2 technical officers of the Board of Industrial Training. So the board has expanded into areas it has never gone before.
The graduates expressed elation and excitement at the accomplishment. This brings us to the end of this edition of Weekly Digest. For these and other government-related stories, do log on to our website at dpi.gov.gy and our social media platforms as well. Goodbye.